Over 9K earnings on Upwork, multiple 5-star reviews, 100% job success rate, and on track to being top rated on Upwork. How did I do this in less than 3 months within 2020? I'm going to give you all the tools necessary for you to achieve the same thing, if not faster than me. And that way you can leapfrog through everything. Some of the tools that you'll be getting will be a bio formula, a presentation deck, scope creep tools such as a timeline sheet, a change order sheet, maintenance plan example, and much, much more. I call this the 5 keys to Upwork success. We're going to go through each one step by step. Let's go through the first one right now. All right, so the 5 keys to Upwork success. Number 1, we start with our portfolio. So we develop our case study, develop case studies, develop your bio, develop, of course, amazing websites. This is going to be geared towards web design freelancers, but switch it out for your own service, getting 5-star reviews, and then a couple quick tips like making sure your profile is public, and we're going to go through each one. So let's go through my case studies real quick. Okay, so here's my profile. And as you can see, I have 100% job success rate, 9K earnings, multiple 5-star reviews. And let me tell you, this is not going to be easy. This is going to be pretty difficult, but it gets easier with time. As long as you have things to help you. So, and I did all of this before I even had any reviews. I think maybe I had 1. So here's one. Here's a website that I designed that basically what you do is you have a role, a project goal, and this is all within Upwork's own thing. So you can design and edit the case study within Upwork's own thing. So you want to add as many details as possible: mobile platforms, mobile design skills, UX design software, solution, right? Rather than sourcing for web design, content writing, and product images, my brother and I did everything within a few months to prepare for the branded launch. So this was a collaboration between my brother and I. And then here we have this beautiful outline of the new website, right? For Titan Craft Cocktails. Very cool. And for this, there's a tool called, let me see if I can, it's a screen capture. You basically, let me see if I can find it for you guys real quick. So this is what I have for a full screen capture. It's an amazing thing. It captures your entire page. So if you're a web designer, this is invaluable. It's very, very good. It captures, the entire page of your website. So it comes in very handy, especially with case studies. Now, here's another case study where it has kind of like a before and after feel. So that's the before. That's what the site looked like. And this is the after, right? And this is a testimonial we helped shoot. This is the design. So we can have this amazing thing where it has this before and after feel. I think it's really good. Now, a lot of people don't know, plenty of people know, but I have a business with my brother called L&B Productions. And it's just a combined web design business, video production business. And at first, I was going to make that very clear here, but I thought it would be, and then it seems through data, it's just better and less confusing just to be a freelancer on your own. So even if you're part of a group or something, this should just be about you, your profile only, and where it doesn't really mess with anything else because people are coming for individual freelancers unless they specifically say otherwise. So that's a good thing to note. Now, if we look at our bio, because the next step is developer bio. Create a short introduction. What have you done? How long have you been in the game? Something unique about you, right? How can you help them? Think with them in mind first. Always think, so what? And how does this apply to what I want as a customer? Always think from their mindset. If you're talking about yourself, make sure it's for the benefit of that person, not for you or just grandstanding. And bullet benefits, and I'll show you what those are in a second. Testimonial. So let's look at mine. This is what I mean by bullet benefits. Just very quick skills that you can tell people exactly what you do, right? WordPress, Salient, Shopify, ClickFunnels, WooCommerce. Boom, 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 boom. Very quick. They can see that. It's short, it's concise, and then I have a little testimonial here, right? Let's start with LMB. It was the perfect way to make my brand and my website completely tuned. I'm probably going to change this now. One, I'm actually glad I saw this because it says LNB and it should just be Lewis, because that testimonial doesn't make sense, and it may even be, hurting me a little bit. The other thing is, this video is also do a video, especially if you're on Upwork. You got to do video. It really, really helps set people at ease that you're a real person. They can also tell that you speak English if you're an English speaker. And if you're getting things from, if you're say from the United States, like a lot of people will post jobs and they say they only want people from the United States, but there are some times where some people will actually fake that they're from the US or find some workaround or loophole, and then when they actually get on a call with them, the accent kind of gives it away, but it's also like so and that kind of ruins it for a lot of people. And it's not to say that people with accents are not from the US. That is not what I mean to say. I'm saying that people who are actually fronting as if they live in the US, but they actually live somewhere else, and they're fronting as if they live in the U.S. to get those specific deals, right? So that actually hurts people who do actually live in the U.S., okay? Because people are actually choosing that filter. So they actually want people who are actually from the U.S. Sorry if I said actually too much, but so if people do that, then yeah, it can hurt it. So anyways, that's a bit of a side note. Videos are great. And then the other thing is think hot. Think hook, outcome, testimonial, right? Hook, you want to hook them with something. Outcome, that's why I say Austin, Texas. I use that as a proud way of saying that because, a lot of people know that Austin, Texas can be a really, really cool city. And it is a cool city. And it has a lot of technology going, has a lot going for it. So I definitely like to flaunt it. I think it's good. Let's see. Okay, and let's talk about these real quick. Developing amazing websites. You also have to be pretty honest with yourself of how good are you really? Like are you a beginner? Are you an intermediate or an expert? Right? Because I was able to say that I'm an expert because I have a lot of experience and I was able to prove initially with multiple websites, many websites that I've done this. I've been doing it a long time, that kind of thing. And you want to be as honest as possible with yourself. And it's good if you notice, like, you know what, I can be better, and we can always be better. But sometimes we don't notice it, and I think that can be a problem. So whether you can be better in the UI, UX, mobile response, better with just design in general, better in communication, you got to be very cognizant of these things and do your best, especially when you're doing things on Upwork, because it will show very quickly. Getting 5-star reviews. The biggest things with that right now is, one, luckily the Upwork already, as long as you finish the contract, it almost like makes the person give you a review, which is amazing. And the other thing is to check in with them consistently, make sure that they are happy, and you have to do your very best, and that's just the truth. And then ask them, of course, and then when they finish the contract, they will do it. I mean, that's basically it. Just have confidence and consistency in what you do, and then ask, not too much, maybe ask before the project ends and it's about to end, and then do that. And then the other thing is, make sure the profile is public. There's a couple different things here. If you go into your job, to your settings, see, as you can see, I am an experience level, and the cool thing is you can change it. I'm never going to change that, but I'm just going to keep it on an expert. Is keep your profile public. I got one of my very first jobs that I still work well with, and I'm very proud of, which is Wild Gallery. He's an awesome client. He's great to work with, and he was one of my first bigger clients on Upwork specifically, and very grateful for it. And the only reason I got it was because he typed in Austin, Texas web designers in Upwork, and it came up in Upwork, and I was on the list. It wouldn't have come up if I wasn't public. Okay, so you have to. And some people, I understand if you're like working somewhere else or blah blah blah, but you're just shooting yourself in the foot, and it's gonna be way harder unless you already have a lot of referral capabilities. I don't know. I'm just saying it's gonna help you a lot. And the other thing is, make sure that you verify everything. Make sure you take the test, the Upwork readiness test, and do your best. And then make sure that if you are native or bilingual, that you do make sure to let people know, because it's very, very important. And sometimes people will really hang only the fact, they will really make sure that is that you are native, or that you can talk English very, very well. Obviously, it's my native language, so I don't have a problem with it. But for some others, if they may actually have that as a requirement, especially if you live in America. Okay, so let's go to the second key to success: outreach. Who is your target audience? Consistency, frequency. So I'm talking about how many proposals you send. We're going to go over a proposal formula. I'm going to give you one. Test. What I mean by that is that even though I give you this formula, even though I think it's the best formula there is, because I've taken it from many different types of Upwork proposals that I've seen, you're going to have to figure it out yourself and figure out what works best for you and what is true to you, and then what helps out the customer the most to understand that you're the right person for the job the most. So we'll talk more about that in a second. Follow-up. Make sure to follow up. This is regarding outreach and sales. How to search and when. I'll kind of show you a bit of my searching patterns, along with how I qualify lead and criteria. And then edit before send. Two big things. Test, edit. So that's, yeah. So let's run through this. Okay, so the proposal formula right here. Short introduction, hook with name, hook with something unique from their proposal description, and then second hook, look at their question and see if you can give them direct insight to provide instant value. How can you help them? Bullet benefits. So it's kind of similar to and it is similar to the bio formula, because you want to get straight to the point. Testimonial, portfolio example, 3 to 5 websites, CTA, call to action, and then still think hook, outcome, testimonial. Again, hook them with whatever you can. And when I say hook with name, you want to do things like this. So like, let's go ahead and, this guy. So let's just look through this, right? So We have a gentleman that's payment verified. Good. We have 5 stars based on 4 feedback. That's great because that means that I could probably grab his name, he or she. Let's go ahead and designer need to lay out task management system. See, I wouldn't go for this, even though it has 2 great qualifications, because I don't really even know what that is. And if I don't know what it is, I just skip over it pretty quick. Because I really, personally, I only send 2 proposals a day. And it's because I'm very, very strict with who I even send a proposal to. So let's look here. Okay, proposals. This is very important to understand. Every single one of these is good to know. Okay, so if he sent invites and unanswered invites were 7, that means only obviously 4 people got back to him, and he's interviewing the 4 people who got back to him, which is good. I mean, it's good for him. And if he's only sent invites, that doesn't, and it's most likely, if you weren't the one invited, you probably shouldn't even bother submitting a proposal unless you feel very compelled that it could, that you're better than whoever, and sometimes, again, test it. You may want to test it. There's nothing wrong with that. And the other thing I look for is, of course, proposals. If it's over 20, then I definitely am more apprehensive because it's less likely that they even will look through that. Over 20, it drops off dramatically. But it has happened, and I've gotten one of my bigger clients from waiting, a little bit. The other thing is, are they? Sometimes a lot of times you just see 0, like they're not interviewing anybody, even though it was posted like 24 hours ago. That's not a good sign. You want somebody to be, interviewing 1, maybe 2 people. That's good. That's a good sign because that means that they're coming back. And when they look, they like what they look, and they're searching. They're actively searching. You don't want them to be inactively because that's the other thing you have to look at is the hire rate. So 29% hire rate. He's got a pretty low hire rate, to be honest. So he's very, very picky, and it makes sense too. I mean, but he's obviously a really badass client to work with. Most likely, I don't see anything paid here. But he has spent around $4,000, so he's not too nitpicky with money as long as you're the right person, is what it looks like. But he has got a really low hire rate, and it's probably because he's so picky. So let's find the person's name, right? So what you want to look for is the top, not to freelancer, not to Andrew P, because that's a freelancer. You want to look at this. This is a freelancer to the client. It was a great experience working with Asher. Boom. So it is probably Asher. Sometimes it may not be because it may be a team of people. But if it is a team of people, I just go ahead and just use the name that's been used most frequently and most recent. So so I hope that helps. That's just kind of an idea for you. I kind of gave you some tips on how to filter, how to search, and whatnot. And then we would put that name here, right? Short introduction. Let's go ahead and make a mock proposal. So, short introduction. Hi, okay, so if this is a proposal, we want to, and let's say we're going to go for this guy. Okay, need help in designing, defining, and laying out the various elements that will go into this tech management system. Let's say that, hey, Asher, I've been designing task management systems for 5 years now, and I am one of the best in my field, kind of thing. it's a little tough with this guy because he barely provided any information whatsoever. Let's look at somebody else here that I could kind of give you guys some more insight. Let me see if I can find. Let's see. Let me see if I can give you something that I could actually like. Okay, so I'm going to try to walk you through this as so I look for the budget. Obviously, I'm going to go for a bit of a higher budget, like 1,200, 2,000. In the beginning, I would still do that, but you kind of have to like work your way up a little bit sometimes. You may have to take some hits in some things in terms of budget. And if I were to try to submit this, I would go with the intention of raising the price. If not, then I would just, I would politely disregard it. And also, I don't like it when it's payment unverified. I also don't like it when no one's reviewed. It could still work. It has worked before in the past, but it's just kind of a pain because it's a lot less likely. But so this you can kind of tell it was copied and pasted, and that means that they probably copied and pasted in multiple locations, which isn't bad necessarily, but you can tell it's a new account because nobody's given feedback. It's payment and verified, and it was copied and pasted. So I would read this, and if anything really came out to me, I mean, solopreneurs, S&P. If it's sometimes if it's like super, super detailed, but the budget is pretty low, I wouldn't bother because unless you feel really compelled to. Okay, so I found one. This guy looks pretty good. So payment verified. One feedback, it's good. Proposals 20 to 50, but the budget is pretty high, so I would probably take a chance on this. Also, make sure to save any jobs that you feel confident in. And he is interviewing one person, so that's good. And even if you don't, the other thing is, even if you don't match the location or amount earned, if you prove yourself in the sales process, you can overcome those barriers. For example, I'm 9K and he's asking for 10K only, but I would still probably send him something. And then Walridge Corporation needs a web design to upgrade website. Walridge is a manufacturer distributor of plumbing specialty products, looking for an e-commerce style platform with a transactional ability. So what I would probably go with is, let's see. Okay. Amazingly, with the one review, you know his name, and his name is Andrew. So, and it's just, I'm going to do a quick one. This is just kind of give you some examples. So don't take this to heart. Oh, not my name. Hey, Andrew. So for example, if I had like a plumbing site that I had done recently, or even if you've done a plumbing portfolio site that's not even real, which would be good if you wanted to dive into that industry, let's just say you do have a plumbing site previously, and you say, hey, Andrew, I recently did an amazing plumbing site that you can see here, and it may not be manufacturing, but I know the industry really well. And let's just say that, and then the other thing is you want to try to give instant value. So you want to try to think like, if he had like, I really need an idea of whether I should go with Shopify or WordPress, you can tell them like, well, Shopify is, to answer your question, or let's just say, because he's not asking it, I want to make it real. And I do. The other thing is, I do, I do have like kind of blocks that I use. So I don't write it out, but I don't write it out each time. I write out the first 2 sentences. So covering the short introduction and second hook, I always write that out personally. And then when it comes to how can you help them, I already have kind of like a one written out specifically for my own, where I kind of talk about my YouTube channel and everything. And I kind of break that down. But right now I want to just try to kind of, because that is only going to pertain to me. And I'm trying to help you see how to develop one, because that's really going to be the most helpful. And the biggest things is make sure that you have a hook of some kind, and then another hook. That's what I try to do, is try to hook, like literally try to hook them with 2 different things. So I might say like, he's not asking for this, but have you ever thought of building a YouTube channel to optimize for SEO, to increase traffic, thus increasing orders? So I would probably word a little better than that, and I don't know if I would use YouTube with this person because he seems pretty concise, but this is just to give you an idea of a second hook. And then how can you help them? List out your bio, list out elements of your bio. Don't make it copy and paste from your bio. Try to give some nuance to your bio, and then like who you are, where you've been, and that kind of thing. And then so bio as a body, keep it concise. Bullet benefits. Are you a copywriter? Copywriting, web design, graphic design, right? You want to list out all your skill sets, basically. Make it very simple. And if you have a little testimonial, you may want to do that. Then again, test, because you don't want it to be too long. And then give portfolio examples, like, website 1 with your website URL 1, website URL 2, and then always have a CTA. Always. It can be as simple as, P.S. Do you have time to talk today or tomorrow? And I always like to write PS because it's a copywriting technique and it still works. I'm telling you. Okay? So that kind of gives you a breakdown of the proposal formula. And then just to kind of go through all of these things, I kind of give you some qualifying lead criteria. Again, edit before actually submitting the proposal. Always edit, and go back. I can't tell you how many times that and I just did it recently, and I had kicked myself in the butt for it, where I was almost done with the proposal. I got a little too, I was trying to get it done a little too fast, and I sent him something without the proper link. And it's embarrassing, but for the most part, it hurts the bottom line, and that's a no-no. And then again, test, and follow up. This is another thing. You need to get the app, so there's an Upwork app. Make sure to log in. Make sure you know how to work it. It's pretty easy, but they have a couple different ones, and it's kind of annoying. So you got to find the right one that on the App Store that actually works for a freelancer. The other thing is you need to 100% make sure that you get back to that person. If they reach out to you for anything, like that proposal was sent, they reach out to you, get back to them as soon as you possibly can. Okay? Even if it's like, let me take a look over this and get back to you. That's good, because even though it'll say like, proper etiquette is within 24 hours, I mean, I'm almost 100% sure, like, the faster you get to them, like, they're clocking it, like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3-minute, 4-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute. Like Upwork is seeing that, and they're gonna give priority to the people who like get there like within, as soon as possible, right? That's who they're gonna give priority to. So you need to be understanding of that. Again, with consistency and frequency. With frequency, I do 2 proposals a day. I should probably do more, but I found that, and I will do more. I'm just trying to continue to keep the 100% job success rate and be very stringent with who I even allow in my circle, even if it hurts my revenue right now, because I'm trying to get the top rated score, but I'm also trying to get really, really great clients. And so far I have been getting really, really great clients. It's harder in terms of qualifying, and I've even had to turn some people down, which is kind of crazy, but it can save you a lot of time in the long run. Okay, so, and the other thing is, who is your target audience? So I would, you need to really think of who are you trying to target? Who is the right person that you really want to work with? Okay, let's talk about service. Do your very best. Okay, do your very, very best. Don't cut corners on this. It's gonna really challenge you, because every job is gonna have some challenges to it. It's gonna be different until you just get better and better. Even myself, and I've been working in it for years. For nearly a decade, and even with Upwork, I still had some things that I needed to get dramatically better on, like speed optimization of the site or any of this, but it makes you so much better and well-rounded of a person when you actually tackle those head on. And I truly believe I am an expert now after how much I've busted my ass for some of these clients, and I've worked really, really hard. And I'm proud of that. Scope creep. Oh, geez. This one, even though I've had experience with it, I still deal with it. And you gotta be careful. And that's why we're gonna talk about a timeline and revision orders along with that. I'm gonna show you 2 things that will help prevent this. Okay, which is basically what this is. It's a revision sheet and a timeline sheet. The other thing is change orders, which is the same thing as these all. I have sheets for all these I'm going to go over. And then building protocols for yourself, basically, building a system of operations, standard of operations, even if it's just a simple note that you write on Asana or HubSpot of like, this is what you do when this is this part of the sales process. This is this. You need to get better at that, and that way you can really keep everything systemized. So let's go to the timeline. So here is the project tracking website design timeline that I use. It really doesn't have to be this detailed, but I thought this was a really great one to use. And we have our homepage, our milestone, our priority, content due date, and it's really cool because this will actually change days remaining to launch based on what you put here. So V1, V2, you can keep everything on track for people. Okay, and this is the website revision template that I have. I'll probably share it with everyone. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just ask for your email, basically, and then I'll just send you a bundle of everything with links to everything. I think that would be probably the easiest thing for everybody. And then, and then so you put what edit is needed here, completed, and that's it. But believe me, this can help save your life, because email and even Slack can get way too daunting trying to keep up with everything. So you want to divide it by section of each page, and have each page with their corresponding section and the edit corresponding with that, and then letting people know if it's done or not. Okay, so those are two really great things to have. Sales. Okay, almost done. Let's talk about follow-up and response time. Okay, so this is after you have already this is after you have already got their response, and you have basically booked a time to present. Or you first, what I like to do a discovery call first, and then to make sure we're a fit and to further qualify the lead. And then after that, we do a presentation. And I also, on my presentation, I always sell them on a program. This can change depending on the scope, depending on the project, but try to keep it within 2 meetings to save your time and to save their time. Meeting etiquette, use Zoom, Google Hangout. When you do, make sure that you look good. If you do use video, always be on time, for God's sakes, because I know people that don't actually are on time. And especially if you're doing first impressions mean everything. So you really, really need to be on time. And yeah. So again, in the discovery call, I qualify leads. I have a set of questions I do. And then I also have a presentation. I'll show some of that presentation here. And then I have basically just don't give up, because this is going to be really hard. But it gets easier the more you do it, the more you practice, and it feels so freaking good when you land a bigger contract. And you should be very proud of yourself, and that's always good to feel, to have money for your family. So that's good, and also to deliver a freaking badass service. That's also really good. But you really do, because I think I've sent at least 100 proposals, and out of those 100 proposals that I've sent, I think I've only had meetings with probably like 15 people, something like that. Which, it's a lot, It's over like 3 or 4 month time period. And for a while there, for like 45 different proposals, 45, I think I didn't get a response for a whole stretch. So you really, don't give up. You can do this. Don't ever give up. That's the biggest thing. Because I'm telling you, after I think it was like my 46th, something like that, and thanks to the profile being public, I was able to land a bigger contract. I'm very happy about that. Upselling programs to add. So this is a big thing here. Oh, let me change that. Okay, what do I mean by upselling programs? So you don't want to just have it one and done. You want to try to consistently add more value in their lives. So you need to offer them that. And there are a good amount of programs which I can go over here to give you some ideas. But it's all about building passive income for those months that suck really, really bad. And for those months that can, passive income can save your butt, I'm telling you. And it can also help your clients a lot. And that works fantastic. That's great. So you want to... So let's talk about this. Creating multiple programs. You want to create, a lot of times if it's a smaller business, 3 programs ranging from least to most affordable to least affordable, or I don't even like to think of it that way, because it shouldn't, you want it to be like less valuable, more valuable. That's really, you shouldn't, even though in the back of your mind you're like, this is going to be typically less affordable, but you don't really know that. You don't know what's in their bank account, and you don't, even if you you don't even know, people can get loans, people can use credit cards, and it can work out just fine. It's not it's really none of your business to worry about their budget. That's their business. Because when you're in business, budget is only as good as the risk you take. And that's just the truth. Because there's plenty of people who, have enough money, but they say they don't, and they have, it's all relative. So get that out of your mind. Forget about that. It's all about creating more value, and you want to be least valuable to most valuable. And of course, you will have be cognizant of course, the least valuable is going to be more affordable, but it has less tools, right? So that kind of thing. So I like to create 3 programs for upselling programs for like maintenance and stuff, or and to know when to sell, which is upsell etiquette, which is after a fully completed contract. It may be okay to ask before if they'd be interested. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as you're at the very tail end and you've already felt that you proved yourself. So you have to have that etiquette, because you don't want to be asking in the middle, like, hey, you gonna do a maintenance plan? They're gonna be like, dude, we're not even done, so I don't even know yet. So that could be a potential. So you kind of have to understand when to check the pulse. Okay, and then here are different program examples. Maintenance plan, which is a must. You gotta have your own maintenance plan. Social media campaign program. So if you have a YouTube or Instagram program or something like that. For example, my brother and I, we have a YouTube program that I'm very proud of, and it's growing, which I'm very happy about. It's difficult as hell, but I also think it's one of the most valuable things a person can do, especially this day and age. Graphic design build. So if you're good at graphic design and web design, or you're at least competent, you can build case studies, lead magnets, logo designs, even with Canva, pretty well these days. And because it's a combination of, you can do a lot of great things with Canva and great content writing, right? And that's where SEO programs can come in handy, and blog writing. So, all that to say, 5 keys to Upwork success. Those are my 5 keys. And guys, thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe if you were able to watch all the way to the end. Really appreciate it. I'm gonna have this. All of this in a bundle for you to grab. And all I'm asking for is your email. That way we can keep in touch. And I'm very excited for you to check this out and give me your thoughts. So I have a webmaster's email newsletter that I'm going to kind of keep pumping out and producing more content for, to kind of help freelancers build themselves up, and we can build each other up in the process. So I hope all of this helped. I wanted this to be a freaking amazing masterclass for Upwork. I've seen a lot of different things, and to me this is an all-in-one kind of like crash course on it, but also really good. So thank you again. Please comment and let me know how I did, and yeah, we'll talk soon.